Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Anwar Fazal, and I bring you this message from the friends of Mrs. Nomura from Penang and from the consumer movement in many parts of the world. Mrs. Nomura was very special. I first met her in 1974 at the first Asian conference on consumer protection. This was the conference that led to the setting up of an Asia-Pacific consumer movement, which later became also the base for the world consumer movement. Mrs. Nomura played a very central role. At that conference itself, she was so passionate and so energetic about consumer issues. She introduced us to the word Bogai. We talked about consumer protection issues in Penang and Japanese multinational corporations and their operations in Asia. She immediately changed her flight, and instead of leaving back for Japan from Singapore, she visited us in Penang, stayed in my house, and together we talked about how we can work together to make a stronger consumer movement. She was a great inspiration from those years. The world consumer movement would be not like it was those years without her support. She was just amazing, someone with information, someone who was with passion, someone who cared about the next generation and prodded them and got them inspired to make the kind of changes that were necessary. She was also a great communicator. She wrote profusely about many issues. She translated stuff. She would send us many materials about things that were happening from all over the world. She was also a builder of movements. She brought together women's movements, trade union movements, the cooperative movements together. Without her, we would not have had a global campaign on SMON and the campaign against Sibagaigi. We would not have had the international seminar on health and safety that led to the Ranzan Declaration and inspired so many of us to deal with health and safety issues internationally. We would not have spent that amount of time in building up a new generation. She was such an inspiration that we did one of the first training programs on young consumer activists in Penang, and later one in Japan with the Seikatsu Club. She was always there, always moving us forward, always someone who wanted to see action. Mrs. Nomura was a real global citizen, and she made a difference to the world consumer movement. We shall never forget her. Thank you so much, Mrs. Nomura, for all that you did. We will never forget you. We will continue to be inspired by you. Thank you.